What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel and check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to talk about. I was just watching Dreamers Pro, right? And basically, this in this video, he's talking about a poll that that they took that says that Michael Jordan, it just proves that Michael Jordan was better than LeBron James, right? Which I agree with. But I want to react to this video because I have like a little bit of a different perspective, right? And I think that a lot of people are not really looking at it this way. When they talk about the difference between Michael Jordan and LeBron James, they always talk about the the six championship rings, he three-peated and things like that. The two three piece, right? And things like that. But I'm gonna play this video and then I'm gonna give my input and just say where I think LeBron James, where I think he made some mistakes.
We see them. As you guys know, I've been saying that this NBA GOAT debate is a joke. It's a debate made up of a bunch of smoke and mirrors. I've been saying this for years. I've compared LeBron James and Kobe and LeBron and Michael Jordan closely. It's not even close. The distance between Michael Jordan and LeBron James is the distance between heaven and earth. He's nowhere near on his level. And despite what all of the work that they did with Clutch Sports and Nick Wright and Shannon Sharp and all of these guys that twerk it up for years, it didn't work. This is why they're so desperate to this day. They're scrambling. What can we do to get LeBron a ring? You're never catching Michael Jordan. Give it up. You had 24 years and to prove that you were nothing of the player that Michael Jordan was. 24 years. MJ won 6 rings with the Bulls in 12 years, and you're doubling that time, and you're still sitting on 4. To your career, you don't even have 1 3-peat. And you want to compare this guy to Michael Jordan? He doesn't even have 1 3-peat, and you want to bring me this guy? You better bring somebody else. You better go bring me Kobe Bryant. Don't bring me this dude. But LeBron fans, because they've been fooled by Bleacher Report, House of Highlights, all of these Clutch Sports media plans, they've been fooled into feeling that this is a real debate when it's not. After all the work that they've been doing in media for the past 10 years, it doesn't matter.
All right, let me say this, right? And what I think it is LeBron James did not put that work in that Mike put in. Right. From the very beginning, LeBron James, and Michael Jordan spoke about when you give somebody something, there's like no incentive for them to work hard for it. And that's what happened with LeBron James. Immediately when he came to the NBA, they would, calling him King James, the chosen one, and all this stuff, right? So there was no incentive for LeBron James to work as hard as Michael Jordan or to work as hard as Kobe Bryant and dedicate themselves to the game like that. And I said in other videos that I thought that Kobe Bryant, when he first came to the NBA, he mimicked Michael Jordan a lot. And that and it worked against Kobe Bryant. And as soon as Kobe Bryant just started to be himself and try to carve out an identity for himself, that is what made fans love Kobe Bryant. And so anybody who comes to the league, not just LeBron James, and you get compared to Michael Jordan, it's a lose-lose situation, right? Because a lot of what happened, some of what happened to Michael Jordan was like, it was just timing. Like Nike blew up at the same time. He was a part of that Nike explosion. The NBA going from like the game growing to become an international game. Like LeBron James, Kobe Bryant couldn't top that. You can't grow the game any more than what he grew it. But all you could do as a player is dedicate yourself to the game, don't cheat the game, and be the best player that you can be. And LeBron James, he thought it was all about the rings. That's why he left and went to Miami in the first place, because he had been in Cleveland for 7 years and he was not able to get a ring. And I think he panicked and he got desperate. So he went to Miami, and they remember that famous I guess it was, that famous saying that they had him, and he was talking about not four, not five, not six, not seven. He thought they was just going to run off a whole bunch of rings, and it didn't work out like that. And so at that time in his career, he was chasing rings, and he thought that it was about the rings. But the whole time, he was never a threat to Michael Jordan. I think Michael Jordan knew this from the very beginning. He was never a threat because the fans didn't love him, LeBron James, like the fans love Michael Jordan. And Michael Jordan, like I said, he got caught up in a perfect storm, right? If you take Michael Jordan out of the league, and you had Kobe Bryant, and so a lot of people probably would think that Kobe Bryant was the greatest because of the way he dedicated himself to the game. He was just a gym rat. He loved basketball, and he was dedicated like that. So a lot of people, most people would probably say, well, Kobe Bryant is the GOAT, if it wasn't for Michael Jordan and the some of the things that happened around Mike that was even out of his control, right? But LeBron James, man, was just so he was just so dead set on not working and dedicating himself to the game like Kobe, like Mike, like Bird, like Magic, like Isaiah. And he just wanted to take shortcuts. And the whole key to all of their success is their fan base. Like, that the persevering and those iconic moments that Michael Jordan and all the rest of the greats created, for their fan bases. That anytime a fan speak about Michael Jordan or any of the greats, they remember certain plays or certain shots or certain steals or something that happened in the game at a crucial time where those guys just came through for their team. And a lot of that for LeBron James is just smoke and mirrors, right? And so when you try to he tried to take shortcuts and get over and make it look like, no, you use propaganda to say that he's the best. He was never, he was never a threat to Michael Jordan. So, and it's not even about the rings. The rings are part of it because the rings are what they are just like a byproduct of that hard work that Mike put in. And so they earn, as a team, they earn those rings. But even if you work hard and you only come up with two rings, I believe like if LeBron James stay in Cleveland and LeBron James only win two rings in Cleveland, just like Isaiah did in Detroit, I still think like LeBron James, I think he's even more beloved for the two rings than he is now for the four rings that he have now shipping around from team to team. I think that would have been better for his legacy if he'd have just went all out and just gave the Cavalier, gave those Cavalier fans two rings. He will own that town because he is their guy, and I know throughout that time, if you out there and you playing hard and you dedicating yourself to the game, he would have had like some iconic moments where he would have hit some big shots. He would have got a big steal or a crucial rebound or something like that. But a lot of what people can point to LeBron James is some of the fact that he lost 6 out of 10 times when it came to championships, or the epic fail when he 2011 and stuff like that. They'll- and I think all basketball players have times where they like they shrink in big moments, and or most basketball players do. But that's why you have to stick it through and you have to persevere so that now you because you give yourself an opportunity to right that ship, and he didn't. So now when you have a situation where fans are saying, LeBron James, there's no way LeBron James can touch Michael Jordan, or LeBron James is not, it's not even close. LeBron James is not in there in the same league as Michael Jordan. That's true, but not for that reason. The reason is I think it's because he didn't dedicate himself to the game the way that Mike did. And you know, if he'd have put that work in and he would have stayed stayed in Cleveland, or at the very least, if he had stayed in Miami and allowed his image to recover from the fact that he left Cleveland. He, like he would have been able to recover from that mistake. People call that a mistake, the fact that he left Cleveland. But once he'd have went to Miami, if he'd have stayed there, I think his team could have put him in a situation where he'd have been able to recover from that. But to go to ship around from team to team and not have a fan base, man, um, that's what it's all about. It's about the fan base, and nobody really feels a connection to LeBron James because he never really made any of those fan bases feel special. Like he was like, I'm doing this for you. When he won that championship in Cleveland, he was like, Cleveland, this, you know what I mean? And he got emotional, but they don't really feel that. They not, Cleveland fans now, they really don't even want LeBron James back. And that's crazy that your hometown, your own fan base feel like that, right? And so Michael Jordan won that fan base, and I don't think, and nobody's going to be able to take that from Michael Jordan. So only the best you can do as a basketball player is just be yourself. And Kobe Bryant learned that, and then once Kobe Bryant learned that, then he benefited from having his own fan bases. It wasn't like what Mike did because of other, like I said, other things happened outside of Mike's control that helped make him the icon that he is. But Kobe Bryant, he tried. He was the closest thing to Mike, and he had to work his ass off to get that close to him. So make sure to like and subscribe. Also, don't forget to leave a comment. With that being said, I'm gonna check you all out in the next video. Peace.